Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. Today, we're going to talk about whether or not you need a portfolio when you start your VA business. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome. Welcome. Come on in. I'm Belinda Sandor. I am excited to have you here today. And we're going to talk about something that a lot of people worry about. And I think it's because they hear about it on the internet, and that is a portfolio. Do I need a portfolio? And I want to dive into that today because I think people are wasting cycles, wasting time when there are other things besides working on a portfolio that will move the needle for them. And there is a way to have a portfolio that you create a little at a time versus spending a whole bunch of time, creating it from scratch. So we definitely want to jump into that. Now, when I started my virtual assistant business back in 2010, my goal was to create a six-figure income. And I was very committed to that because I didn't want to have to go get a job, and I was this is me and my daughter. She's 23 now. It's hard to believe, but this is me and Emily back in 2010, and it's almost 14 years now. It'll be 14 years. I think it's early September. I have to look that up so we can celebrate. But here I am. I'm with I call her my little delish, and my life was not where I wanted it to be. It was really interesting. I felt like everyone was going this way and I was going that way. And I felt like that a lot of my life, but it had sort of caught up with me at that point. And the space between where I wanted to be and where I was big enough that I could really see it. And I was turning 50, and that was a meaningful birthday for me. For some reason, I put a lot of emphasis on 50, and I had always planned, this is where I want to be at 30, this is where I want to be at 40, and I had plans for 50. The interesting thing was I didn't think beyond that. So when I'm turning 50 and I'm not where I want to be, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do because there was no plan for 60. And it's like, well, if I, kind of screwed this up, what am I going to do now? And so I knew I didn't want a job. I knew I wanted to work on my own. And I went back to my roots, which was doing admin work. I thought I liked doing this. And I definitely got pushback from people in my life because I had not huge, but pretty big corporate jobs and made six figures there. And so people are saying to me, why do you want to be an admin? Why do you want to do that? Why don't you consult? Why don't you this? Why don't you that? And the truth is I didn't want to, and that's what was at the core of this whole concept of me pulling myself back together, was that I finally stopped listening to what everybody else was saying about what I should do with my life. And I started listening to what I wanted to do, what was true for me, what resonated for me. And that's when everything changed. Because I was trying to live my life according to what this person has or is doing, or this person or this person. And when you compare yourself to other people, it's very rare that you come up on top, come out on top. And then that's a whole other problem, right? Because that's your ego. And so it's really important to stop looking around you and to really get in touch with what you want, how you want to live, how you want to support yourself, and what kind of lifestyle you want. So I didn't listen to my friends. I didn't listen to my family. I started my business. I called it Rocket Girl Solutions, and I became a virtual assistant before I even knew what that was. And the way that I grew my business was by spreading the word, telling everyone I knew. And I did that in a number of ways, which I teach you. And I'm going to talk about an upcoming training where I'll teach you how to do that again. And by telling everyone I knew, and it started to click. I got my first client at the school bus stop. I'm waiting with my daughter. One of the dads asked me what's new. It's like I bust a move. I tell him, he hires me. Then I meet someone in the reception line of a wedding. I reach out to him. We keep in touch. He hires me. Then my third client, my best friend, she had a friend who I'd never even met, who ran a cleaning service. She needed someone to help her figure out a whole bunch of stuff, just commonsensical stuff, and to start a newsletter for her. And because I had started my own newsletter, my friend was able to forward it to her friend and say, this is what you need. This is what you need. And then hired me to do it. So it really was by spreading the word to everyone I know. Now, while this is going on, this whole new idea of starting this business, I'm getting a divorce. I have to sell my house. Because I had a business that failed before this, I have mountains of credit card debt with no way to pay them off. And I'm a newly single mom. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And it caused me to learn how to really focus on what was important to me, which was being a mom, being around, and being able to make enough money for us to stop struggling. We were struggling so much. It was like paycheck. Well, it wasn't even paycheck. I had a business, not a job. So it was like, income to income and pulling things out of the business and getting more in credit card debt. It was really a mess. And I had to stop the madness. And at the core of that was getting clear, putting my feet on the ground and saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? And the result was that I grew a business, and I have worked over 20,000 billable hours. I worked with over 225 clients and made six figures every single year for 10 years in a row or 11 years in a row. And now I'm coming up on 14 years of being a virtual assistant. And I have to tell you that once you start to get clients and once you start to get work and money starts to come in, it's like you're a whole different person, because you understand. And for some of us, for the first time in our lives, we can take care of ourselves. It's not about a job. It's not about something external. It's about being an entrepreneur, being in touch with who we are inside, and using that to help other people grow their businesses as virtual assistants. And it's very empowering and it's very exciting work. And it's perfect if you're a lifelong learner. And I know a lot of us think, oh, I keep learning this new thing and that new thing. And yes, that can be destructive if we're not getting clients. But the cool thing about that superpower of loving to learn new things is when you get clients, they're going to ask you to learn new things all the time. So you combine this love of learning new things with your business, and clients pay you to learn new things and to solve problems in their business. So it's really a win-win situation. So if that's you, just remember that you do have to get out of student mode, and I'm going to teach you how to do that in just a few minutes. So fast forward 13. Oh, well, actually, let's see. So tomorrow is my third wedding anniversary, and Greg and I started seeing each other in 2012. So this was 3 years ago. Tomorrow, our wedding day, and these are all our kids. And, who knew that at age 50, I would meet the man I was looking for my whole life. I actually knew him in high school. It's kind of crazy. We both moved around and had families and all the things, and then ended up meeting again. And so I'm in a completely different place. The finances are handled. There's no more worrying about, can I pay the electric bill? I'm living a lifestyle that I've wanted to live forever. I feel comfortable. I feel confident. I feel safe. That's more than anything. I feel safe. And that is a big deal, right? That is a big deal. So I was able to be there for Emily. I was able to create this business, and wrong way. And Greg and I were able to buy this house. This was a dream, to be renting at 50 and 60 years old was not where I wanted to be. It was the reality for a long time. But we overcame it. We did what we needed to do. And a lot of people thought that, oh, you got the house so fast. It only, you just started looking. And what they didn't understand was all the things that were happening in the background, repairing my credit, paying down the debt. Greg had a home that he owned with his former wife, selling that, paying down his kids' student loans. Like all of these things had to be put in place so that we could move forward. And that's what we're doing. And it still feels, well, it's still new for sure. But to be able to invest in our own home, the Pella window guy came yesterday. We have 2 windows that are missing half the window, and winter's coming. So he came and sat at our dining room table last night, and we were able to make a decision about these windows. Windows are expensive. I had no idea. So anyway, just to be able to sit there and talk to Greg and make a decision that works in our life was so empowering. I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you. And it's out there for you if you want it, and if you want to do what it takes to make that happen. Now, one of the things it does not take to make that happen is to build a portfolio. Okay. So a lot of new VAs have come to me and said, I'm working on my portfolio. I'm working on my portfolio. And I think, what exactly are you doing? Now, if you are, even if you're a graphic artist, you will, this applies as well. But I get that, like, if you're a graphic artist, you might have a bunch of logos, or you might have a portfolio of websites, or you might have, things that are tangible that are on the internet. But most of my work is work that's very individualized for clients that it's not tangible. Like, it moves, it changes. I'm updating their website. I'm adding new information. I'm changing pictures, and it's not tangible. Or I'm making workbooks for a client to take into her confidential, engagement with her client. So here's what I want you to do instead. Instead of creating fictitious work, because when you don't have clients, it is fictitious, right? You could spend months sitting there designing logos, like, faux logos for people that don't exist to show that your logo ability, or you could do this instead. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to focus on building your business. I want you to understand that most of your clients are going to be service-based entrepreneurs, right? People who provide a service. Yes, you're going to have some clients that sell a widget, but for the most part, you're going to have clients who are selling services. Okay, guess what? You are an entrepreneur selling a service. You're just like them. So all of the things that you need in your business, they need in their business as well. So when you put everything into place, one thing at a time, to make your business solid and functional and fabulous, that becomes your portfolio. That's how I did this. So here's an example. I started writing my newsletter. It was called Rocket Fuel. Right away, I announced my business. 2 weeks later, I sent out my first newsletter. By doing that, it served as a great way for generating business, because not only am I keeping in touch with my network, and we were talking about this in VA school yesterday, it's like building a machine. Meet people, send them the newsletter. Meet people, send them the newsletter, and you just create this keep in touch machine. What happens is, not only are they seeing my newsletter, they're seeing that Belinda is not fooling around. She is publishing this every 2 weeks. She's definitely putting time into it because she's writing useful articles about things that are interesting to me. She has a consistent format that's professional. And so what happens is, they're seeing that I'm consistent, I'm trustworthy, I'm serious about my business, I'm providing them content, and they think, I need to do a newsletter. And who do they think of? Me. I estimate that of the over $1 million that I made as a virtual assistant, easily $600,000 of it was probably from newsletters. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And I'm not talking about writing newsletters for clients. I'm talking about they write it, they choose the picture, they send me a Word document, I create the template, I put their content in the template, and every month, boom, 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 they keep needing me to do that. Some of my clients publish newsletters every week. So, and on top of that, you put it on their website. Then you can talk about social media with them. There's all different things that happen once you start this newsletter machine that turn into recurring revenue, because clients, if they're smart, will also want to show consistency. They'll also want to provide valuable content to their potential clients, and so on and so on. So this is a very smart way to spend your time when you're just starting out. Yes. So Heather says 60% on newsletters, eye-opening. Yeah. And, if I'm exaggerating at all, it's only by a little. So even if I said 50%, $500,000 on newsletters, that feels rock solid. But I bet it's more. Yeah. So it's not difficult work, right? It's really making sure there's one space after the periods, making sure that whatever the client wants bolded is bolded and italicized is italicized. I have a meeting tomorrow with a client to do this. She's going to send me her newsletter tonight. I've been expecting it for a month. because she likes to schedule ahead, which is great. And I'll get it and I'll put it all in the format. Then I'll put it on her website. I'll put it on LinkedIn, and we'll meet tomorrow morning. She'll review everything. I'll hit all the buttons to publish it. And then next week, she's going to send me her social media. I'm not even going to write it. She's going to write the social media post, and I'm just going to schedule them. So that all in is, I don't know, hour and a half, $90 an hour, right? You can do the math, right? So that's how that works. So the newsletter it's not just keeping in touch. It's keeping in touch. It's showing your abilities. It's demonstrating consistency. People get to know you. I've had somebody in the past, this has happened more than once. They schedule a call to talk to me about working with them. And they say, I love your newsletter. I've been reading it for a year. Wait, this is what he exactly said. He said, I've been getting your newsletter for a month. I'm ready for a year. I'm ready to start working with you. Are you taking clients? That was the first thing out of his mouth. I'm like, uh-huh. And he knows about, he's been reading it. He sees the consistency. He sees that I'm in business for real. It's a huge impact. And there's way more beyond that you can do. But when I started, that was the critical thing that I did was the newsletter. And a lot of people wait. And what goes along with the newsletter is growing your list. You need to reach out to people that you know fearlessly and get their names on your list, because you never know where the clients are going to come from. And the thing is that a lot of people say about newsletters, oh, I don't want to spam anyone. I don't want to sell to them. Well, don't. It's like, seriously, just don't send crap. Send good content that people will be looking forward to. We all know about newsletters. There's probably, at least one that you get, hopefully it's mine, on a regular basis that you're like, what is she saying today? What is this about? Right? Make yours that. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. It just takes practice. Okay. All right. So the second thing you can work on that you can provide for your clients, credit card processing, Stripe, right? My clients buy my time via credit card. And since I set this up on my website, I have had dozens of requests for people for me to set up credit card processing on their websites. I can't even tell you. Another huge one, automated scheduling, like Calendly, Acuity, TidyCal. So you give someone a link, they get on your schedule. I have my links all over the place. And so what happens is people get on your schedule and they think, this is really good. Oh, I got a reminder. Oh, I bet this could save me a lot of time. Belinda, I love how you set up this, this application. Can you do this for me? You bet. Let me show you mine. I have 4 appointment types. This is how we put it on the website. This is the link. We can change the link so that it's easier to remember. I mean, you have a conversation. So the whole thing about this portfolio, if you're not getting the drift, it's like, let me show you mine is the phrase, right? Let me show you my website. Let me show you my business card. Let me show you, all of the things, because they are the things that your clients will need as well. Now, here's an easy one. Email signature, right? I set up my email signature. It's got my logo, my title, virtual assistant, my name, my phone number. You click it, it goes to my website. Potential clients are so impressed with that, and my clients. So I'm talking to a client, having a meeting, and I say, hey, you know what? I just updated my email signature. I want to show it to you because I think I could do something like this for you. Not pushing, right? Or they get an email from you and they're like, I love your signature. I have a presentation that I haven't given it for a long time, but it's called 7 Biggest Mistakes Small Business Owners Make when Trying to Grow Their Business. And one of them is missing the opportunity for an email signature. And I have slide after slide of all the email signatures that I've created. So definitely spend time on yours and make it beautiful, because people will notice. And I have to say, the list goes on and on and on. You just can't even believe it. So definitely think about, what is my business need? What can I do to make it more efficient, easier for me? And then your clients will see that. You can show it to them and do the same work for them. All right. Good. So for most virtual assistants, they don't take these steps. They get so worried about they're worried that they're not going to set up their business in a professional way. They're worried about what other people think. And I have to tell you, people are thinking about you way less than you think they are. Way less than you think they are. So just know that and push forward. I want you to think about what are the things that you could do in your business, and one at a time, right? One at a time, tackle them. Do it completely, move on to the next. And because what happens is, and I was thinking about that this morning, we go into business and we don't give ourselves permission to be a beginner. We go into business and we want it all done right away. And when we can't get it all done right away, we give up. Or we work on too many things at once and we don't get any traction. I was listening to, I think I'm going to sneeze, just a warning. Saying it out loud makes it so that I don't have to. I was listening to a video of someone that I follow. His name is James Wedmore. And he has, this is where we are and this is where we want to be. So these are the islands of where I am and where I want to be. And what happens is we're trying to build bridges, but we build this bridge and then we build this one. So this is like, I'll start the newsletter, I'll start the debit card, I'll start listening to this, I'll read this book, I'll do that. And we don't build any bridges all the way. So we have all these half bridges and we feel like we're not getting any momentum and we give up. That's because you haven't finished anything. So you have to finish something. So I want you to think about, what is it in your life that you have not finished? And I want you to take it all the way from this is where I am to where I want to be, completely, all the way, 100%. And do the best you can, and then move on to the next bridge and do the things that matter. Do the things that matter. And then what will happen is you'll start to feel confident because you'll have successes, right? So definitely think about that. Okay. Now I have some really big news. This is what I've been working on. Okay. So we've had yes, Heather says finishing up loose ends. There's nothing more satisfying than doing that. And this is a really good example right here. So last Sunday, I was listening to some training and I was thinking, you know what? It's time to do something different. It's time to improve the free trainings that we've been doing. We are going into our 21st free training that, specifically about how to start your business as a virtual assistant and how to get clients. And it has had many, many iterations. And each time it takes a different twist. And I'm very excited about where we're going next. So this is called the VA Business Launchpad, from idea to income. So this training is designed to take you from, I wonder if I could work from home, to this is how you make money. Like very clear steps. It's going to be a 3-day training. We're going to kick it off on August 29th. And then our second training will be on September 3rd. And then our third training will be on September 5th. And then we're going to open up doors for enrollment to VA School, my signature program. So we're going to take it a little slower. We're going to go a little deeper. The sessions will be much longer than they typically have. And I'm really excited to pour into all of you who want successful businesses. I know that so many of you have been trying to figure out how to make money from home, how to have a different lifestyle, right? How to really get your business off the ground. Because I have to tell you, this in-between place, this purgatory place of, I want it, but I don't have it, and I don't know what to do. It's torture. It's torture. And I want to move you out of that so you can make a decision. Because making a decision that you want to have a business is the first big step. Really deciding. It's the difference between, it's the difference between, is this going to work? And what's my next step? Right? When we're in, will this work? Is it going to happen? I don't know. It's taking time, blah, blah, blah. That, like, I don't know how you get anywhere. But if you say, you know what, I'm going to be a virtual assistant. I'm going to replace my income. Or if you don't have an income, I'm going to make X number of dollars by this date. What are my steps? What are my steps? And then you do one completely. I recommend the newsletter and growing your list. And you do that and you start building that machine, and then you add in something else, and then you add in something else, and that will cause you to get clients. And then what happens is you've got a little heat under you, right? So all of a sudden the client needs to pay you and you're like, oh no, I haven't set up the debit card system. That's okay. Venmo, PayPal, dollar bills, quarters, it doesn't matter. Let them pay you and then set up the debit card system. right? So the whole idea is to do the things that are going to bring the clients in, because you want your systems to be supported. You want your system to support the work. It's not that you need all these systems so that the client can come in. It's actually the opposite. You want the clients to come in so you can figure out, oh, okay, so my client, all right, I need my calendar to be set up. I need to spend time to make sure my calendar is organized and I know where I'm supposed to be. Oh, I need note taking. All right, I'm scribbling on this notebook. That doesn't really work. What do I need? Oh, okay, maybe we'll try Evernote. Okay, that works. And so that's how efficient systems that work for you are built in the trenches, right? In the trenches. So definitely sign up for this training. I just created this URL today, vabusinesslaunchpad.com, and I've redirected it to the new page. But I'm going to give you a different URL right now because that might not be working yet. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put this in the chat. I'm not sure if it's going to go everywhere, but we'll see in just a second. It went to YouTube. It went to Facebook. Good. It didn't go to LinkedIn, but it will. I don't think anyone's watching on LinkedIn right now. And by the time you're watching the replay, it will definitely be working. So check it out. It's going to be really good. I'm excited. And one of the things we have this time this is why I brought this up. Speaking of taking it to completion and also improvement. It used to be that our replay page was this one page with just straight replays. Everything was in a different spot. People didn't know where to watch the replays. They didn't know where to find out when the sessions were. They didn't know where the Facebook group was. It was like there was sort of organized confusion. Like in my brain, it was organized. In my team's brain, it was organized. But then I realized it was time to take it next level. So we created something called the Hub. The VA, it's the page after you sign up, you're taken to the Hub, and I'm in the process of getting a URL for that right now. But if you want to look, if you can see it, it's thevaconnection.com/hub. But it's when you sign up for the training, you'll be taken there automatically. And this morning I put the finishing touches on it. There's like a couple more things I want to do, and I'm not going to stop working on that page until we are all the way through it. And then the next time I'm going to look at it is when we do this training again, and I'll review it and say, how can I make this better? But you have to put a stake in the ground, right? You have to put a stake in the ground. So sign up for the training. I think you're going to love it. The community is always awesome. We started enrollment at noon yesterday, and we have over 200 people signed up already. So it's going to be a nice, lively group. Yes, good. Yeah, so Heather says, Heather always writes great notes in the chat. Removing resistance, greasing wheels, improving efficiencies. Yeah, and there's something that there's this phrase that I got out of a book, really like probably 25 years ago: incremental action over time. Incremental action over time. And what would be really fun is to show you, and maybe I'll do this. Just the incremental action that's taken place in our community. When I started the community back in, it was really 2018, but I spent a whole year all by myself trying to figure it out. And then I hired a coach. It was me and about, I don't know, maybe 60 people. I would hold events and no one would show up. I would do these things called Coffee with Belinda, and it would be just me. I had less than 100 people on my email list. And then just incrementally, a little at a time, it's like choo-choo. Just creating that machine and keep adding on it and turning it, but adding new things into it until it became our community now. And it's the same with my Rocket Girl business. It was a little bit at a time, and that's what you have to do. So incremental improvements over time, I guess, is what I would say. All right. So sign up for VA Business Launchpad. Tell your friends. We have an affiliate program. You can earn money by sharing the word. But don't be afraid to kind of fly by the seat of your pants a little bit. When I think about us opening up this whole new training, right now, all the graphics in our affiliate program are wrong. All of our countdown graphics, that we put out, our posts, they need to be redone. But it didn't stop me from letting people start to sign up because we have time. We have until the 29th to get all that together. Right? So it's the same thing that I'm asking you to do. Tell people about your work, put the word out, write the newsletter, grow the list, and then the systems will be built as you go. Good. Okay, everybody, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. I love Lessons from the Cockpit, and I love having you here with me. So have a great rest of your day. If you're in the community, I will absolutely see you at study hall and Q&As this week. We've got all kinds of things going on, and I look forward to it. Okay, join me next week. Bye for now.